Hi everyone, Jun Yuan here. Today we are filming this video in a very exciting project at Sengkang. What you see here right now is actually sort of like the entrance of the main door of the condo, but existing unit doesn't really have a sense of a foyer and entrance. So right from here, we decided to do something like a settee and sort of a partial feature wall together with this entire carpentry with a half column shape. This carpentry is very important because it's very prominent and right in front of the house and it's exposed in all three sides. So we really wanted to detail this thing as much as possible with a lot of like recessed details, which I will go through later further. And then over here we have like two drawers to put like socks as you wear. And then you come over here, you can see all the recess detail here, frame even from the start where it attaches from the wall here. So this is the part whereby you will sit down and you can wear your shoes. And then we have another mirror here, full length mirror here, mainly to quite enlarge the space but also allow you to check yourself a bit before you leave the house. Now, it straight away from this area foyer here, it opens up to this living area. Once again, we have a L-shaped carpentry and that extends all the way. Here is where the existing storage is given by the developer, the DB box. So over here, we actually did do like a folding door system. So with this folding door system, you're able to access your storage all the way deep inside, and then you can open up together for this door as well. Then over here are all like full storage. The intention behind this storage system here is to make it look almost like a feature wall. So it becomes like a backdrop for this entire area here for the dining area. And for this dining area, it's very exciting. We keep it the feature wall rather simple because we want this table to the main focus. This is actually a custom table. So we intentionally chose a very strong and prominent green to set the mood for the house, and it automatically becomes like a color that we will trickle down in the different parts of the house to add a bit of this colorful element together with the more neutral base. So down here from the table leg, intentionally chose something that is half circle to mimic what we have in the entrance. And then over here we have an asymmetrical table that has a little bit more chunky, heavier, together with a bit of the recessed detail again, so that this table sort of encapsulate the entire design language of the house. So that's what the beauty of custom furniture comes about. So you can see that the whole house is very cohesive yet very interesting when your furnitures are able to encapsulate all these details. Then for the chair wise, we chose something that with very like minimal legs. So we minimal metallic legs, so it doesn't matches well with the more heavier table. And then now to this very beautiful Alma light. This is a glorious pendant light that we got from Spain. It's called Aromas Del Campo Elma light. Yeah, it has a very nice glow to it, and the glass and brass element really matches very well with this kind of very luxurious marble green stone. Yeah, so with all these elements, it really adds to the luxurious feel of the space. Yeah, which is why with this green table here, we added a bit of the knobs here with a bit of the green stone and gold detail behind also. Yeah, simple gestures like this. So now you will notice that this part is being framed because actually this leads to the entrance to the kitchen. So for this condo, we actually redo the whole kitchen. And then we finish here with a sliding door with beaded glass just to allow some light to pass through and to make it less dark in a sense. Yeah. And then over here, what we did here actually, originally the door frame is a little bit slanted out of this proportion. So we actually shifted the door frame and the whole layout as just to make sure that this is a decent size two-door carpentry, so that actually each door are all around the same size. So to me, that's very important detail because it creates this rhythm that everything is a little bit more aligned and more shunyuan. Yeah. So over here, as you walk past this area, this extension here then is enough to house the fridge, all the appliances, the deeper appliances, and then you can have like drawers that are like way deeper as well. So this is a slight different detail, kitchen detail. Then over here is actually a full height kitchen that maybe we will show from the other side angle. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, angle, and then we have like pull out trays for all the appliances, coffee machines, etc. Yeah. Very nice detail. Three pull-out drawer and a deeper drawer at the end. So having a tall element here is really, tall kitchen cabinet here is really good to keep all your appliances. So initially we wanted to finish this all like half height and then together with the stone and everything. You get more counter space, but then you have very little space to house all these appliances. So this was what we went with. And then over here we have like deep drawers throughout this entire bottom cabinet to put all your especially you want to put things like plates and then you have too many things put here. And then over here for the corner kitchen here, I thought a bit about function about this kitchen So we even have a turnaround table with the hardware to put all the things. So make use of this corner space here. Then when it comes to the design of this kitchen, I was very happy that we get to use this very new and brilliant stone from Consentino. It's called Luxe series. It has this like gold and white marbling effect on it, and I think it's very, very nice. It really pops up with all the together with other materials that we use in this space. So as you will notice, for my liking, when a stone is already very striking, I want to keep the rest a little bit more muted, just so that there's some sort of a balance and some sort of visual hierarchy. Yeah. So for us, especially for more contemporary designs like this. And then, of course, owners have very nice other brass, gold, metallic elements in the things that you use. Will also add a bit of the more luxe factor to it. Then, of course, even a very nice like gold tap and etc. Black sink. Yeah. Then over here, this corner here, when your sink or stove is very in a tight space, it's important to finish this side of the wall. So in this case, we finish it with carpentry. Yeah, you could finish it with a stone, etc. Yeah. Over here. Okay, yeah, again, corner cabinets, open up everything for you. And then, as always, we like to do our switches more on the recess side instead of the wall because I don't like to touch the stone this way. Here we have some sort of like a small bay window thing to house the machine. Simple, just to finish the whole kitchen there. Yeah. If you're wondering what's this, it's a very fancy, huge dustbin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, finish the kitchen. Okay, now and then you also have a very nice designer like here. Again, brass element suits the space, highlight this entire wall for the entire dining area. Okay, then now we move back to the living area. So for this living area, let's talk about the feature wall first because at the entrance you will see this corner already. So right from the start, the intention was to always do something that can sort of like finish this corner very nicely, and this together with the whole console. So we went through multiple iterations, but then what we end up with is something like a bottom console, so that we can we can put a soundbar, the feature here, and then all these elements can extend to the corner to create a more of a layered wall effect here. So in this case, this feature wall of the wallpaper somehow acts almost like a wall art So there are things, so it's not just like a flat and simple corner for this very prominent corner in the house. And then even the carpentry extends all the way for this whole bottom carpentry. Yeah. Simple, elegant. And then over here we have actually a very deep sofa. You can't tell that it's very deep because actually it's of the effect of this thing also. So it's sort of like it hides the side profile of the sofa. Not intentionally, but when it's done this way, you realize that you don't really realize how deep this space actually goes in. Yeah. And then you're actually then at a more very comfortable distance from the TV from this angle. Then over here is a typical very nice Zaza leather sofa, quite big, 2.5 or 3 seater if I'm not wrong. And then we got an extra ottoman here. This ottoman here is very useful because you can do things like this whereby you can put a tray and you can put your cards, and of course it helps you can rest your legs on it also. And it's also acts like extra seating when you have guests coming along. Highly recommend things like like this for the entire house. Okay, then now to this whole layout of the space, which I think is actually one of the key things that I decided very early that will be quite important for the house. Sorry for mentioning so late. So which is actually this entire sequencing of space that I really like because of how when you put down the zip track, can follow me? Yeah. This entire space here connects to the second room, which is why when I created this layout, I wanted to create this circulation around the space whereby you can move in this and throughout the entire space, and then it goes to the study area. So study area, as you can see here, is open all the way to the dining area because I wanted the natural light to come in a little bit. Okay, and then over here, we remove the door and then we extend the whole wall here. So this short wall here is also just meant to house the study area here, which I'll talk a bit more. And then over here, we have like a bottom cabinet here. So you can see this as I walk through this entire space, this whole circulation together all the way to the dining area is one of the key focus of this space as well. Maybe give a slight tour, and then it links all the way to the kitchen also. So this is the kind of layout that we wanted to achieve right from the start for this house. Okay, then now back to the study. Let me talk a bit about the details of the study because I think it's one of the most detailed study room that we've ever done. So firstly, it's a display cabinet. We finished this very slim door design for the house to put the client has a lot of clearly a collector for all their planes and everything. And then with all the 45-degree lights shining on the item, so everything looks very evenly lit. And now comes to like the most technically challenging thing that we have done in this house, which is actually this slim metal frame with LED lights. Normally, it's quite easy to do this without the lights, but to do a slim metallic shelf with lights, we actually need this to be custom fabricated by some metallic supplier, and they usually do it overseas to ship it back. So logistically, it's very difficult, and it actually needs all the stakeholders in play, meaning the client, me, and the builder, to all be very on board and very quickly to settle all these things right from the start in order to do this thing. So timeline-wise, cost-wise, design-wise, this is all quite a new challenge for us. So we're quite happy to achieve this at the end. And then over here we have a table here with a recessed detail as well, followed by recessed handles for all these drawers. These are all very deep and big drawers to put all your stationeries. I actually really prefer the drawers to be at the side as much as possible instead of a thicker drawer bottom here. And then here we have a very nice hex chair over here for this whole study area. There is a way to keep this very minimal, but in this case you have a double window what do you call this? In this case you have a double screen set up for the client, and then over the bottom here you have all your power sockets and everything. And then at the backdrop of this, we also finish it with like a darker color wallpaper. So this whole thing at the center pops up. So then now to this half height cabinets over here. We wanted to do this recessed effect to it because it really frames the entire thing very well. So when you put things on it, it feels like it's almost like a tray. It has this very more bespoke detail effect to it, and of course there is like a curved edges on both sides as well. Then over here, we actually have drawers. There's this visual detail here. So we continue this recess all the way here to become the handle for the doors here. So instead of having a recess on top, it becomes the recess at the center here. Because the platform of this, we're trying to mimic both sides to be equal. So since the table already has this recess detail, we wanted to do this recess detail here over here as well. So you can see intentionally whether we want to do like a platform on top or whether we want to do like 45-degree angle for the drawers. These are all accounted for. We want to do things like seemingly simple, but actually it's all these details that matters and makes it look a bit more expensive looking. Then over here we also finish with a very nice like glass effect, a little bit like marble, similar to mimic the green stone that we have chosen, acrylic art that we got. And then that's about it for this space. Hope you all like this study. Okay, then now we will move on to the final part of the house. Very exciting. Okay. I think we often talk about hotel feels, right? But I think this is one of the few times whereby we really achieve this very bespoke and hotel vibes for the house. So right from the carpentry onwards, we have a layout is still quite typical, but we finish it with a lot of very nice details lah. So for this L-shaped wardrobe, we actually open out at the side here with like a beading handle here. So this is more like a vanity thing that we see quite popular overseas that we try to do in some condos that you see as well. Yeah, so this becomes more like a vanity compartment for the client. And then these are all L-shaped wardrobes, which for the most part, we always want people to do this in a invest in folding doors so that when you do open, you can open up this entire thing. There are already living things inside, so I try not to open. But the fact is that you can actually open all the way for this access, and you can really put a lot of things. And then the details of this wardrobe, it comes in actually these three metallic brass things. So this is one of those things that as a designer, when I look at it, I feel very happy. Purely because it changes this perspective of when does your handle become just a handle or a decorative element, or when one dot becomes three dot, how does it feel? It in a way it is a way to become like a new form of handle, but we still have this extra beading to act as a main handle for the folding door lah. So I really quite like this, and this was actually inspired by the fact that we chose another beautiful wall lamp by Aromas that has this green stone element and a brass element. So the moment we see these two lights and the stone, I feel like that's when the house really come together with all the elements being tied together very nicely. Yeah, so this kind of thing sometimes are not decided right from the start, but along the way throughout the design process, we get to discover materials and elements that we really like, and then we can really apply and trickle around the house. Yeah, so which is why this round element leads to this brass element thing, and then this whole space come together quite organically rather than me trying to really impose things that are very foreign into the place, or like try to find a random photo on Pinterest and then follow through. So over here, maybe you can come to this side. You can see this. So this side table is very small, but we try to detail it very nicely with all the extra beadings and stuff. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And then over here is actually like a side open door. And then one thing to note that our sockets are all underneath the side table. And then we created this extra grommet hole on top. Very small fitting that we find online. Very nice material. Yeah. To fit all the wiring so that you can actually go through your devices with one iron, and then you can have a charging portal on top. Yeah, actually I can show you. Something like this. Yeah. Yeah, remove it. Yeah. So once your wire go through, you can have a very nice charging port over here. So even though this space is quite small, but it's still very functional, and then we remove in both sides. And then in this case, this space also feels extra luxurious, also because of the fact that it's very symmetrical. Very seldom we do very symmetrical layout these days. But then because of the two wall lamps that we buy, and then this whole place is being framed with a very nice wallpaper with each two individual lights, everything becomes very formal and very grand and therefore very luxurious lah. And of course, we have a very bed that has very heavy feel to it, and then with a very nice custom headboard and all these like slight khaki green touch to it that matches the entire space. And then we even have like a maybe let me go here. We even have like some sort of automatic curtains. This one really adds to the luxurious feel of really gives the hotel. Yeah, try not to open too much because instead it exposes the space. Yeah, just to show you all how the lights, individual light work. So you have one that opens for the top, and then one for the lamp, and then one for the LED lights. Yeah. So normally that's when we plan the lighting. Also one of the very important components lah, especially when you want your whole space to feel like. So this is more like a. So in this cell, you can see if one person is sleeping here, the other person can still sort of like use the space like this. Yeah, maybe. Oh wait, let me show you the effect. Where I leave this one on. Okay. And then let's say I switch off everything here. Okay. So this is the effect that we are trying to achieve lah. So let's say for one person. Yeah. Okay, wait let me wow. Hopefully you all can see through the video. Okay, I think that's all. Alright, thank you so much. Okay, let's go back to the dining space. Let me walk you one round again. So as I mentioned from the start, having this very open and circulating layout really helps to open up the space. And by achieving this, to me, that already covers the main goal of the space. And then with the client expectations of a very luxurious interior, we added all these extra textures and colors to the space, and then it really completes the space in that's you seldom see me doing. I know everyone comes from me for very minimal style, but I really enjoy adding all these little details. Even for this painting in the living area, we chose something that's a bit green, and then with a wallpaper at the back, and all these like leather textured wallpaper, wood. Yeah, so we're very happy that the house is being finished, considering like the foundation of the house is really not that great. Yeah, so that comes to the end of this tour. Hope you all enjoy, and then we do want to thank our clients and then our builder Cover Space as well for accompanying this space. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.